All right, welcome to class. Thanks for joining me this morning, or if you're viewing this later on, thanks for joining us for our virtual classes. My name is Melanie, and we'll go ahead and get started this morning. So I want you to go ahead and come onto all fours and then allow your big toes to kiss. Keep those knees slightly narrow, or if you prefer a little wider, take them out wide. Send your hips back, extend your arms towards the top of the mat, and then release that space between the eyebrows, your forehead down on the mat. If this is uncomfortable for you in this beginning movement, then lift your hips up slightly and then allow your forehead to rest down on the ground, or even bend those elbows and let your hands stack so that you can create a place for your head to rest. Whichever feels most comforting for you in this moment. We'll go ahead and begin by drawing a big breath in through your nose. And you'll exhale to sigh and let that breath go. You'll do this a few more times, breathing in through those nostrils, nice full belly breath. And exhale out of the mouth. One more cleansing breath in, letting your lungs expand, your belly grow, the back rise. And as you exhale, decompress, draw the navel towards the spine, rest your chest closer towards the ground or on your thighs. On your breath and time, take the tongue, lick your lips, seal them to one another, and then begin breathing in and out of your nose. There's a soft constriction in the back of the throat so that you can drag your breath back and forth, creating an oceanic sound or a fogging of a mirror sound. And do your best not to clench the eyes or the jaw or furrow those eyebrows. Allow all features of the face to be soft. Let your hands and every muscle in your body relax. As you exhale that breath, let yourself further release. Take a moment here to begin scanning from the very tips of the fingers if your arms are extended or the crown of the head, and work your way through the body, down the trunk, through the hips, until you reach the end of your toes. Observe with mindfulness. Observe without judgment. And reverse that motion. So now scan from the toes all the way through the top of the head, out through the fingers if your hands are extended. As you take this next breath in, you'll pull it in fully, allowing those lungs to expand in all dimensions, so front, side, and back. And as you exhale, you'll let everything go, maybe allowing that vertebrae to lengthen itself from the crown through the tailbone. As you take your next inhale, press the palms into the mat, lift your chest up a few inches. And as you exhale, we're going to walk our hands towards that top right corner, rotating the left rib cage around so that you can iron your heart either parallel to the mat or resting your chest somewhat on this right thigh and then bowing your head down in between your biceps. Draw a breath in if you can, nice and full. And then let that breath go. Taking another breath here, reach through your fingertips, push that left hip towards that left edge, and let that breath go. Releasing, you'll inhale, lift up, walk the hands to center, and you'll exhale, take your hands towards that left edge. Stack right hand over the left, rotate the rib cage, press the right hip towards that right side, bow your chest down, extend through the fingertips as you inhale. Relax the shoulders away from the ears as you exhale. One more breath here. Letting that breath go. As you take your next breath in, lifting up, walk your hands back towards center, and then exhale. Melt the hips further towards the heels. Release your chest a little closer towards the ground. As you take your next breath in, you'll slowly begin to rise up, letting your palms and your knees rest on the mat. Wiggle your hips from the right side of the room to the left side of the room, and take that gaze over the shoulders as you swish your hips back and forth. Come back to center. And as you return to center, lift your right hand off the mat and just take a couple of twirls with your wrist in one direction And then the opposite direction. Take the back of the hand down on the mat closer to your knees, either toes curled or not. Send the weight of the body back. And as you send the weight of the body back, bring your fingers towards your thumb if you'd like. Releasing the fingers out, bringing the fingers back towards the thumb, releasing the fingers out. Once more, pull them in and then let it go. As you take your next inhale, release. Couple of circles with the right wrist, lift the left one out. Back of the hand goes down to the mat. Send the weight of the body back, a soft bend in that elbow, and then bringing the fingers towards the thumb. Just a few times. Slide forward, release that left wrist, a couple of circles once more, and then this time spin your palms so that they're on the mat, but your thumbs point out to the right and to the left edge. Bend those elbows, work the weight of the body back slightly, or rock back and forth, or even side to side to release and stretch your wrist a little more. If it's too intense, then maybe allow your fingertips to point out towards the right and the left edge instead, and then allow yourself to wiggle back and forth or slide from the front of the mat to the back of the mat. Whichever option you took, one more inhale here. And that exhale here, shoulders pulling back, releasing both the right and the left hand when you're ready. Curling your toes under, slide the weight of the body back to stretch the bottom of your feet. Roll your little toes out to the left and to the right edge. Let the weight of the body sink back if you can handle that. If not, lift up. Inhale, lifting or rolling the big toes back towards center, rooting down through the big toes, stretching that one out. Taking your little toes out to the edges once more, work the weight back. Inhale, work the weight forward, bring the big toes to anchor down. And you'll do this once more. So when you're ready, roll the little toes out as you exhale. And as you inhale, roll the big toes back in, sit into the hips if you can. As you take your next breath in, slide the weight of the body forward, lift your feet off the mat in a couple of circles with your ankles in each direction. And then taking the tops of the feet, just kind of pat your feet on the mat. From there, curl the toes under, pull your shoulders back, draw the navel up and in, and inhale, take that cow pose as you retract the shoulders. Inhale, lift the heart up. On your exhale, your feet can press into the mat as you dome your spine. As you dome your spine here, slide the weight of the body forward. Keep looking at your belly button if possible. Inhale, sliding back, dropping that navel back down towards the ground, lifting your chest and chin up for that cow pose. On your exhale, dome the spine. And this time as you dome the spine, slide forward and work the weight over towards that right side. Inhale, come back to a neutral spine and then drop the belly down, lift the chin up for cow pose. Exhale, dome that spine, curl it up. Send the weight over towards that left side now. Inhale, coming back to center, the belly releases back down and the gaze goes up. And then exhale, drawing that navel up towards the spine, pressing the mat away, slide the weight of the body back and take a little rest here in child's pose as you begin to extend the fingers more actively towards the top of the mat. As you extend those fingers a little more actively, you're going to inhale, tent that right finger into the mat, lift the forehead if it's on the ground, slide this left hand towards that right side, release that left temple down on the mat, and then lift your hips up. As your hips align with your knees, extend and straighten that right hand towards that top left corner, trying to get mobility through the shoulder girdle, trying to release this left side of the body. Your ankles can cross if you'd like. You're extending and reaching this left hand as far towards that right side as you can. Take a full breath in here. Let that breath go. And then inhale, sliding the right fingertips back towards your gaze. Extend that right arm up, bend the right elbow. Bring the back of the hand either to the small of the back if possible, or around towards your left hip. Pull the elbow head up, opening your body through this shoulder. Breath in and a breath out. One more inhale here and exhale, reaching through the crown of the head, hips stay elevated. As you take your next breath in, extend the right arm up, release the right hand down, lift your head up, extend and take this left arm up towards the ceiling. As you extend and lift it up, a couple of circles with this shoulder in one direction and then the opposite direction. Lowering that palm down, you're going to press the feet into the mat, send the hips back, and then inhale, dip the chest down, lift the heart up as you take a roller coaster cat-cow. Couple more. So inhale, roll forward. Exhale, dome and slide back. And last one, inhale. And then exhale. As you refine that exhale, extend the arms forward, breath in, body down as you let that breath go in child's pose. Tend your left fingertips now, lift your head up slightly, slide that right arm over towards that left side, lift the hips up, anchor that right ear down onto the mat. Extend or walk your left fingertips towards that top right corner if possible, or it can stay to the left. If it's too difficult, bend your elbow, just cup or tip the fingers into the ground. Each side is slightly different, so just listen to your body, listen to what's going on, and don't force any one particular movement further than you should. Another breath in here. Make it a long one. Sometimes the twist is difficult, so push the right hip towards that right side to keep it in line. Cross the ankles if you need to. Relaxing the temple on the mat. We'll inhale, slide or work the left fingertips down to the gaze, extending that arm up, bending the elbow if you can, bringing it to the small of the back or around towards your right hip. Opening up through this right and left side. Breath in, breath out. One more breath in, and that breath out. On an inhale, left arm goes up, left fingertips release, press into the ground, lift your ear off the mat, send this right arm up, take a few circles with this right shoulder in each direction. And then release that right hand down. And as you release that right hand down, curl your toes under. And as you curl those toes under, lift your kneecaps off the mat, tilt your body up into an inverted V or that downward facing dog. March and paddle your feet out, back and forth. Take your time. As you march or paddle your feet back and forth, you may want to find some stillness, hollowing out the armpits, releasing the heels as far down to the mat as your body permits this morning. Sometimes they're up a little higher and that's fine, but if you can anchor them down, just release them as far down as you can. Draw a full breath in, and as you take that breath in, on the exhale, let your head really droop by saying a yes and then saying a no. As you take your next breath in, lift your heels up nice and high, activating the calves, stretching the toes and the bottom of your feet. You'll go ahead and bend those knees, let your heart connect to the thighs. As the heart connects to the thighs, look towards the top of the mat, and as you exhale, begin to walk your toes either in between your thumbs or meet your feet and your hands halfway in between the mat. Exhale wherever you are for a forward fold. Inhale, rise up halfway. If your hammies are really tight, be sure to keep a generous bend in the knees. Exhale, lowering back down. Separate your feet as wide as you need, wider than hip width distance. Then grab those elbows. And as you grab those elbows, let your head dangle in between your arms and rock side to side. You can also rock from the front of the mat to the back of the mat. And again, if your hammies are really tight and tender, you may want to keep a deep, deep bend. You may even want to bring your hands to your quads instead and allow either the elbow heads to rest there so that you can find a little bit more release and comfort without that strain in the hamstrings. Wherever you are, release your hands back down to the mat. This time you're going to take your hands, place them behind the back of the head, interlace the fingers if you'd like, and your thumbs can rest at the occipitals. And then exhale, dangle your head down, pull the elbow heads towards the ground. Rock that left elbow towards that right side. Inhale, come to center. Exhale, take that right elbow towards that left side. Can do this a couple more times, just releasing any tension through the neck and through the shoulders. And again, being mindful with the hamstrings. Coming back to center, we'll release our hands down, tent the fingers into the ground if possible, rising up halfway. Straighten your legs if you can. Walk both right and the left hand towards that top left corner, and then press your right hip towards that right side. As you press that right hip towards that right side, you're welcome to bring that left hand to your left hip, left ankle, or even the calf. Turn your head and look to that top left corner. Keep pushing that right side towards the right edge. Maybe even begin to anchor more peace fingers on the right hand into the ground, releasing through the side body. And you may feel it through the obliques, maybe even the low back, the QLs. One more inhale here and exhale. And then releasing both right and the left hand. Now start to walk over towards that right edge. Go ahead and repeat. Find your place where it feels right, whether the hand comes to the leg or not, whether you anchor peace fingers or not. And then decide if you're looking towards that top right corner. Find that length through the side body. Maybe you feel it more through the shoulder, but again, you may feel it in that low back, especially if the low back is really tight. One more breath in and breath out. And then releasing, we'll bring our hands back towards center. Heel toe your feet back towards one another. And once we arrive there, you're gonna walk your fingertips towards the front, lift your heels off the mat if you can, bend your knees as generous as you can until your glutes release to the heels. Once they release here, your belly might be connected to the thighs, and that's fine. But I want you to try to slide your fingertips and lift up. As you lift up, drop the knees down to the mat. Lift the hips up, tops of your feet, rest down on the mat. Take that right hand behind you, take that left hand to your right hip for a small twist. From that small twist, plant that right palm down, breathe in through your nose. Let that breath go, look over that right shoulder. If possible for you this morning, look to the front, extend that left arm, lift your hips up, finding some length through the hips, through the hip flexors as you squeeze the glutes. Big belly breath in here. Big release out. One more breath in and then exhale. Hips come down, releasing and taking it to the opposite side as you exhale. Breathe in through your nose. Look over that left shoulder. Plant that left palm down if you can, or keep the fingers tented. Inhale, looking forward. Extend and reach up with that right thumb as you push the hips up. Take that thumb as far back as you can, or maybe just let it rest at your chest. Squeeze the glutes, push forward, breath in, breath out once more, and then exhale, release and lower down. As you release and lower down, your hands will come forward, and as those hands come forward, go ahead and tuck the right toes under and inhale, take that left leg behind you. As you take that left leg behind you, cross the left leg over towards that right side, sending this left hip over towards that left edge. Breathe in through the nose and out of the nose. Returning back to center, keep your leg the way it is. Look to the top, bend that left knee behind your right. Work the knees somewhere to the middle of the mat. Send the blades of your feet out, letting the blades rest into the mat. Begin to send the body or the weight of the body towards the back of the mat. If you want to lift and sit up a little tall, you can. But if you can keep your hips level, even if this left glute isn't anchored into the mat or even the right, drop the chin towards the knee. A breath in here and a breath out here. Maybe wiggle if necessary, or maybe bend those elbows if you need to, or lift the chest up a little higher if that length is enough for you without bowing all the way down. Take a breath in, letting that breath go. Only when you decide it's time, begin to lift and rise up, looking to the front, and you might need a little bit of momentum, but return that right knee down to the mat. Take that left foot behind you, hook the right toes to the right edge, plant your right palm down, extend and lift that left arm up. As the left arm goes up, your left fingertips can extend and reach towards the top of your mat as you press to the blade of your left foot. You can also bring the hand to the hip if you prefer. Try not to tilt your hips back. Instead, keep them in line so it might feel like you're rotating forward, but you're really not. On your time, if you'd like, lift this left leg off the ground, pointing the toes, curl the heel into the body or knee into your chest, sliding your hand until you connect with the ankle or even the top of your foot. For internal rotation or a neutral position of your shoulder, top of the hand is on the foot. For a rotation out, you can grab the big toe side if you prefer. Breath in and a breath out. Send that kneecap away. Kick your foot into your hands. Squeeze the bum if you need to. Your hand is pulling that foot into the glute as your foot is kicking into the hand. On an inhale, release, extend the arm and the leg. Blade of the foot goes down. Hand circle sweeps around as you rotate your hips. Lift that left knee and just trace a few circles in each direction. Return the left knee down to the mat. And if you need to release your right wrist, just lift it up. On your breath and time, tuck the left toes under. Inhale, right leg goes behind you, belly tucks in. Cross the foot over towards the opposite end. Push your right hip towards that right side and look over the left shoulder. Use the breath to extend through the crown and to pull the shoulders back as the hip goes out towards this right side. One more inhale here and exhale here. Then inhale, we'll look to the top. Release that right knee behind the left. Send the blades of the feet out. Start to work the weight of the body back. Only go as far as your body allows or where you begin to feel that edge before you cross it. Again, you can take the chin towards the kneecap, but if this is enough for you, stay slightly higher or elevated, but pull your shoulders away from your ears. Breathe in through all portions of the lung, not just that front space, but think of the expansion on the upper portion of the back and the sides of your ribs. One more inhale here. And that exhale here. Looking to the top of the mat, use a little bit of that rocking momentum to return your left knee down to the mat to straighten that right leg behind you. Then hooking the left foot to the left edge, anchoring that left palm into the ground as the right arm goes up. Press to the blade of your right foot. Your fingertips can reach towards the top of the mat or the hand can rest at the hip. Feel yourself squeeze the glutes here. Push the hips forward. You're still working on opening up that hip flexor. As you take your next breath in, you're welcome to lift the leg up, pointing the toes, either heel towards the glute or knee in towards your chest, either or. Bind if it feels comfortable. And if it doesn't, just keep your foot down on the mat or keep your hand on your hip and don't connect. Kicking the foot into the hand is pulling that leg into the glute. A breath in and a breath out. As you take your next inhale, you'll release, extending arm and leg, returning the blade down, sweep that hand back and around, lifting that right knee, a couple of circles with the right knee in each direction. Return the knees down to the mat, release the left wrist if necessary, toes curl under, knees lift up, back into downward facing dog. As we come into downward facing dog, really feel yourself press your chest back, lift the hips high, hollow out those armpits, and then press through the pinky side blades of your little toes. Pull the quads up so that the kneecap is protected. Breath in and a breath out. On an inhale, lift your heels up high. Then lift that right foot off the mat. Pull that right knee into your chest. Slide the weight of the body forward. Plant that right foot in between your thumbs. As your right foot comes down, your left knee will release down to the mat. On an inhale, we'll begin to rise all the way up. As we lift all the way up, we'll draw a breath in. Push that left hip forward. Drop the shoulder heads down. Let your elbows pull down to your sides. Inhale, those arms reach up. Grab that left wrist with your right hand. And then imagine you're trying to press the wall away at that top right corner as you send that left hip forward and pull the right hip back. Breath in, breath out. Another breath in, lifting up. And as that breath comes out, bring both right and the left hand to that outside edge of your right thigh. Allowing that left hip to extend and reach forward, dropping the left shoulder away from the ear. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, bring it back down. Relax the hip down, even if that means you gently giving it a little bit of love, knowing it's okay. Inhale, we'll lift up. And this time we're going to exhale, lean over towards that right side instead. On our next breath in, we'll extend the arms up. And as we extend the arms up, we'll exhale, hands release to the hips. As the hands release to the hips, slide the weight of the body forward, trying to dive in a little bit deeper into the hip. Fingertips can come down to the mat if you'd like. Try to keep this knee in line instead of letting it come out to the edge. Find the ridges of your mat and keep the little toe in line. Another breath in and that breath out. And then from here, releasing your fingertips down to the ground if you haven't already. Walk right and left hand to that top left corner. Walk your foot slightly over towards that right edge and then curl your left toes over towards that right edge. From this position, angle your chest so that you can bow down in a variation of a downward facing dog. Push and send the hips forward or let them release directly down. Breathe in through the nose, breathe out of the nose. One more breath in. And that breath out. Lifting your chest up, walking your hands back towards center for stability. Walk that right foot so that it's in line with the middle of the calf. And then inhale, bringing the hands towards the quad. We'll inhale, open up for a little warrior two on our knee. From that warrior two, we'll drop that left hand down. Inhale, work the hip forward, and then reverse it from here. As you reverse it, you can bend the elbow. Let your hand rest in your hand. Let your head rest in your hand. Inhale, we'll reach back up. Exhale, we'll return the forearm onto the thigh and extend and lean our left fingertips towards the front. Do your best not to collapse the knee, but where you can see the big toe or you can see that big toe somewhere on this edge to the inside. One more inhale here. And that exhale, and then inhale, reverse it once more. On the exhale, cartwheel the hands, whether they're on the quad or on the ground. Square the hips, straighten that front leg, and then exhale, bow it down. If the hammy feels better, you can bow down a little bit further. And if you want to curl your foot over towards that right side, that's fine. Or if you want to neutralize that left foot, neutralize it or align it so that you're like on a railroad track. Breathe in and lift up, maybe a ½ inch to 5. And then exhale, bend those elbows as you bow down. Reach through the crown of the head versus you just rounding your spine. So reach through the crown, almost like you're lifting your body up in cobra. Breath in and a breath out. One more if possible. And then we'll inhale, rise up, slide, or let your foot come closer towards your body as you anchor the sole of that right foot down. Curl the back toe, lift that left knee, step your right foot back for downward facing dog. In that downward facing dog, lift the left foot, bring the big toe, middle toe onto the Achilles tendon, and then walk your hands a little closer to shorten that distance between the foot and the palms. When you're ready, release the foot down, march or paddle the feet out. On an inhale, we'll roll that vertebrae forward, coming into high plank, dropping down to our knees. To exhale, releasing to low plank all the way down to our belly. From that low plank, our hands go beyond the mat. Back is tired or it's tender, feet go out wider. Otherwise, inhale, keep those legs tight, rise up. If this is too challenging, bring those elbows and forearms down instead. Wherever you are, decide if you want to exhale and release the chest down, however you see fit. We'll inhale, lift back up, finding that flexion. If your elbows and your forearms are down, you may want to just stay lifted, but if your fingertips are to the outside edges of the mat, you'll exhale, release that right shoulder down, looking over towards the left. Inhale, coming back to center. Exhale, switch it out. Left shoulder can release to the middle of the mat as you look to the right side. And then inhale, we'll come back to center. Exhale, we'll release and lower all the way back down. Hand stack, rest your forehead on the stacked palms. Bend those knees, windshield wiper your legs, right side to left side. Returning back into a straight line. Walk those legs towards one another on your knees, palms by your sides. Rise up for tabletop. To exhale, swishing the hips right side to left side. And then walk those knees a little closer so you're stacked. And as you take your next breath in, hips work their way back, but we'll inhale, sweep our body towards that top right corner, creating a figure 8 as we take the hips to that back right corner. Just a few times in this direction. And then switch it out. Taking the heart towards that top left corner and around to the right, sending the hips to the back left corner and around to the right. Finalizing here, curl the toes, lift those knees, and then exhale, tilt the hips up for downward facing dog. Inhale when you're ready. Lift up towards the sky with that left foot. And as you exhale, lift that right heel high, knee into the chest. Take your time as you plant that foot between your thumbs. Release and lower that right knee down. Only when you're ready, begin to lift and rise up. Exhale, let your elbows pull down. Pull that right hip forward. Hug that left hip back. Inhale, the arms reach up. As they reach up, grab that right wrist, drop the shoulders down, keep the hips squared, and then exhale, press the palms towards that top left corner, pull that left hip back, right hip forward. Inhale, we'll straighten up. Exhale, now the palm is coming towards that outside edge, tucking the chin towards the chest, drawing the navel in towards the spine, shoulders drop down. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, bring it back down. Inhale, we'll lift it up. And then this time, exhale, lean over towards that left side, finding that side body lean. On our breath in, we'll come back to center and we'll exhale, release our hands to our hips. Adjust how you see fit. And then release the fingertips down to the ground or slide the weight of the body forward as your hands stay at your hip points, your choice. Taking our variation, if your hands are at your hips, bring your fingertips down. If your fingertips come down, both right and the left hand, walk over towards that top corner as you slide both your left foot and your right foot a little closer towards that left edge so that you can exhale, release, and bow down. Soft jaws. Bow down as far as your body allows you. Breath in, breath out. Inhale, rise back up. As you rise back up, arms come into that variation of warrior two as you allow this left foot to align with the calf or even the knee. Backhand goes down, reach forward slightly, scoop and release. Bend the elbow, your hand can cradle the head. Elbow reaches up. Breath in, we'll extend the arm up and then exhale. That extended side angle variation. Full belly breath in here. Full belly breath out. And then inhale once more, reverse. And then exhale, we'll cartwheel those hands to frame that front foot. Either adjust the legs or not, but slide the weight of the body back to straighten that left leg. Toes can point up, toes can point forward, or any other variation you see fit. Remember that this right foot can be the anchor, so you can keep it to the left or you can bring it on a railroad track. Breath in, lift up, shoulders back. Exhale, bend those elbows, belly and back, stay flat. Another inhale here. When you're ready, lifting up, slide the foot so that it's easier for you to bend the knee and drop the sole of the foot down. Curling the back toes, lifting that right knee off the ground. Slide or step back into downward facing dog. Inhale, take your body into a high plank to a low plank to your belly. Inhale, rise up for a little cobra or that Sphinx pose once more if that's more comfortable for you. On your exhale, you'll release back down, and on that inhale, on hands and knees to exhale, child's pose. Narrow legs or wide knees if you prefer. You're only here for 2 more inhales. And then we'll inhale, begin to lift and rise up. And as we rise up, let your knees crawl forward so that you can release the hips down to one side and swing those legs to the top of the mat. Once arriving there, let yourself roll onto the back, tucking the knees in towards the chest or leaving the feet down on the mat to sway the legs side to side. Coming back to center, we'll align the hips. We'll extend that right leg up towards the ceiling, crossing the ankle onto the quad on the left side, lifting the sole of that left foot off the ground, right hand through the triangle window, left hand around the back of your hamstring, connecting with the right. Flex your right foot for this figure four. Taking about 3 more inhales and exhales here. You're ready to release. Lower the sole of the left foot down and then cross your right leg over towards that left side. Take your time as you pull both the right and the left knee in towards the middle of the body or that sternum, and then hold on to the blades of the feet or the ankles or shin bones or even the kneecaps. Let yourself imagine tying the shoelace so you're pulling it to the right and to the left side. Rotate your toes instead of pointing, flexing them. I want you to pull them in towards your body. A little more internal hip rotation. Drop that tailbone down. On an inhale, we'll gently begin to release, extending both the right and the left leg up towards the ceiling. Hands can hold onto the back of the hammies or even on the calves, or you can just keep your hands down. When you're ready, we'll exhale, bend that right knee into the armpit for that half happy baby, releasing that left leg towards the top of the mat, finding a little more length for that hip flexor as well. If that's too aggressive, bend the left knee and let your left foot rest on the ground. You can also hover the left heel off the mat if you'd like. Try to turn your toes in today instead of pointing them out toward that right side. Just slightly turn them towards midline. Notice what happens with that ball and socket. The heel is floating, bend the knee, set the sole of the foot down, extend and straighten that right leg up. Hands interlace, ankle can roll out, and then pull the knee into the chest. Set the sole of the foot down and then releasing that low spine, windshield wiper your legs, right side to left side. Coming back to center, we'll repeat. Left leg goes up to cross the ankle over the quad. Thread that needle whenever you're ready. Flex the left foot if possible. Finalizing another breath here. You'll release. Cross that left leg over. Pull the knees into the chest for that shoelace variation. If the toes are pointing up, see if you can point them down and in towards your body instead of away. You might feel that stretch through the outside edge of the tibialis or the shin bone. You might feel it more through the glutes or even through the hip socket. One more breath in and out, and then you'll release, extending those legs back up towards the ceiling. Again, hands can wrap around the back of the legs or not. When you're ready, exhale, half happy baby. Left knee into the armpit, grab the blade of the foot, and then decide what you want to do with this right leg, whether it's knee bent or leg straight, heel down on the mat or heel hovering off the mat. Turn your toes towards the center, just for that variation. Another breath in and a breath out. And then releasing that left foot, letting that right foot release down, extending that left leg up. Couple of ankle twirls in each direction. And then sole of the foot goes down. As sole of the foot goes down, you can windshield wiper or tuck knees in towards the body. We'll take full happy baby and then bringing the soles of the feet together for happy baby with butterfly. You can pull the toes in towards your belly, or you can drop the tailbone down and press the thighs out to the left and to the right side. Any other variation that you find suits your needs today or your mood, go for it. You're ready to let go, bring it in, knees tuck in, arms cactus or T out, and exhale, release the knees towards that left side today. Looking either towards left, center, or all the way to the right. Coming back to center. We'll exhale, drop the knees over towards that right side. Looking towards our left when your neck feels comfortable. On your next inhale, coming back to center, releasing those knees, pulling them into the chest. Give yourself a squeeze, lift the head off the mat if it feels comfortable, tuck it all in, and then we'll take a few moments to find our final resting place of Shavasana. Legs can extend towards the top of your mat, or the knees can stay bent, and you can allow the soles to rest together so that you're in that butterfly variation. Take a breath in, let that breath go. Just enjoy these next few inhales and exhales here, letting the body find stillness, decompressing. Thoughts enter, acknowledge them, but do your best to let them go. Focus your attention now back to your breath. So breathe in deeply. Let that breath go completely, even if it's vocal. Wiggle your toes, your fingers, wrists, and ankles, and then bending those knees. Roll over to that right or the left side and lift your body up into a comfortable seat. As you arrive in that comfortable seat, breath in. Hands can come into your prayer position, and at your heart space, we'll exhale, bow, and release it all. Thank you for joining me this morning. It's truly been an honor and a pleasure. May you all have a beautiful day. And in honor of all dads out there, may you have a beautiful and a wonderful happy Father's Day. And to those mothers who have had to father their children as well, kudos to you as well. Thank you.
Hey, Tina and Stacy, to let you know, this is going to be our last live yoga class. And thank you very much for Melanie for doing this for us for the last year. But we used to have pretty high attendance, but now that yoga is live again, the numbers just haven't picked back up. So today's going to be the last one, and then, like I said, there's all the recorded library that we can still access. So just want to let you guys know that.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Hope you guys have a good day. It's been a lot of fun. It was a growing lesson. That's all right. I know, Tina. Just visit like Carolyn said, visit the recorded videos, and you never know, maybe from time to time, I'll see if I can record something new and then put it up there. Give it to Carolyn to put back into the library. But it's been fun, and it's been great getting to know each of you. Without this, I wouldn't have met Carolyn and and you guys in this capacity. So I'm so grateful for that.
Right. Well, we appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, Melanie.
All right. You guys have a good one. Bye, Stacy.
All right.
Bye, Tina. Bye, Carolyn.